evening, everybody, and thank you for coming. And the other thanks go to Diane and Nancy and whoever, there were some other ladies who were working on this, did a great job. Thank you. And all the folks that brought the soup and salads, thank you, dinner was good. Oh, one more thing. Eva, in the corner, by the Christmas tree.
Anyone who has membership dues, sitting over here in the corner to collect your membership dues. If you could pay them on your way out, or if you remember, otherwise you can put them in the mail to the library or drop them off in the library. And I also have membership forms if anybody is not currently a member of WRLISS. That's it.
Oh, and yes, one other really quick thing, I'm really sorry, Bill, but the luminaries.
Okay, Nancy's doing the talking.
We have advertised and we do have them. We have luminary bags by the dozen with candles, for $3 for a dozen. So if anybody is interested in buying any, see me?
When are we doing them?
Is there anyone here who is new to the village, like less than a year, and hasn't been to one of these gatherings before? I see one hand, two. Okay, the young lady. Would you mind standing up, telling us who you are? And it's a quirk that village has. We got to know where you live. Not house, not the street address.
I get that, yeah. I moved here. My name is Denise McDonald, and I moved here with my husband Rob Davis in May. And we live in Aaron Fish's old house. Irene lived there before that. Across the street from Gary and Linda. And Irene Jones, okay. I just met her driving by one day. So anyway, she's been here since May, and we're really enjoying being here, and find people to be really generous and warm, and I feel very welcome here, and so I really appreciate it, and I'm really excited to see your presentation.
Thank you for joining us. George. Go slow.
All right, my name is George Kotsakis. Nickname Crazy Greek. I live, I don't know if you whoever noticed, with the blue columns, the house.
2nd Street on Road Park.
Yes. And the best thing I ever did.
Was there anyone else that I missed?
You guys, just introduce yourself.
Tonight, a little bit different than what we've done before. We have used this marvelous machine before. And tonight we're going to do it strictly on postcards. So if you have any questions as we're going along, do it, ask me, don't wait, because I'll forget what you were talking about. And Maggie's going to shut her phone off right now.
You reminded me to sign
The system we use is I do the talking and Lance stuffed all kinds of postcards. Lance is back there. He stuffed all kinds of postcards into some kind of do-whacker that goes into this thing with all the lights on it, which either Lance or Mike is going to run. The thing is, I talk and I can't touch any of this stuff. So that's where we're going to go. If we could have the first one. And I will try and stay out of the way.
Should we turn the lights down a little bit?
I don't think they go off a little bit. They're either on or off. Okay.
Next one.
Next one. Some of you probably don't know that we had a golf course and a golf club and a clubhouse. And we did, and there's proof. If you can imagine being on a dirt road where the two gate posts are now, at the end of George Street facing the lake. And you turn around and look north. There's no Route 9, there's no bridge, there's no Route 9 behind you. It's all pasture land. This building was located on the corner of Goldfoot Road and what is now Route 9. Route 9, I don't keep saying it, didn't exist, and it's hard to imagine what it was like because it's been built up. It was all flat pasture. And the golf club started on Goldfoot Road over near where Fred and Sylvia Sievers live and went out, crossed Route 9, started up the hill, and the end of it was someplace where that garage is now. None of those buildings existed. The way they mowed it was with sheep. Inexpensive, but I don't play golf, but I assume they didn't get it smooth as they do today. The people who ran the golf course also ran the big hotel that was by the Methodist Church, the one that burned in 1933. It was the Gotham, and it had a few other names, but that was the biggest one that we had. They ran this.
Bill,
Yes.
is it true that Grant played golf on that course?
Who?
Ulysses Grant?
That's
President Grant?
Grant?
You knew that, didn't you?
I don't think so.
When was that picture taken?
That's another shot of the same thing. I do not know what those barns are over in the back. That has got to be someplace over where Seaver's house is now.
What year is that?
Bill, what year was it? What year
The
did you
year prior to 1929. Unless that's got a postmark on the back. Can you flip it over and look at that? No, I don't know the year other than US 9, the trolleys got torn up. US 9 went in 1929. So this predates that. The building was there after Route 9 was there. Bob Kopp lived here all his life, lived up on top of the hill on a farm where the bank is right now. He said he recalls this being there. It wasn't used as a golf club, but the building still existed. There's one of two creeks. That one doesn't look big enough to be the outlet of Ballston Lake that feeds Round Lake. There's two creeks over there. One just behind the ball field. There's another one that's Inlet Creek. This one, I think, is the one by the ball field. Took a little nerve to cross that bridge. They'll show you another picture of it. That one makes it look better. It's just in color. Next. Same little creek. Next. Okay, this is a bigger bridge. This, I think, is Inlet Creek that's still here. So is the other one still here. But you can see the whole thing was on a like a hillside. Again, you got to climb up, cross that bridge. There's no railings. But golfers are a brave bunch.
Or crazy.
And that's just another shot of the thing.
Your love is
That looks like something I may have written.
What is the date in the bottom left-hand corner?
18. Warren Gibbons, New York.
No, but there's a date.
I think this is number 1836.
Right.
Go back there.
Thank you.
I know they weren't taking pictures in
Okay.
1836. But any of the color that you see, most of those were printed here, sent to Germany, they put the color on, they came back. Okay. This should look familiar, Maggie.
Oh my gosh.
Route 9 is where I am, the motel, at the end, at the bottom of the village facing the lake, these particular cabins are gone. The house on the hill is still there. The house to the right is still there. And if you look between the house on the far left and the right, that is, yeah, I'll tell you who it is. That's the George West.
Bill, those cabins are still there.
Pardon?
Those cabins are still
Oh, are
there.
they?
What they did is, they joined them in the middle, and they put bathrooms in them.
They just look too far up. They still exist, huh?
Well, and there's still two cabins up towards Jack Castle's house, on the left.
Okay. They've added more since then. I think there's another one on this.
You see this?
No. Yeah. That's the two new houses, the duplexes that are built just in front of where the cabins were. Okay. So we got that wrong. Those cabins are still there.
Those three there are part of the motel, and then up the hill toward Jack's, there's some other cabins.
Okay.
Look at the extreme right in the picture, Bill, is the house that's on the extreme right in the other picture. And it's pretty close to the same spot.
Where we're there?
Yeah, down there.
Yeah.
And then there's the peak, I think, of, is it Cass's house? Yeah, right there.
Cleveland.
Cleveland's right there. Now go back to the old one.
That was Jack
There they
Castle's.
are.
That's Jack Castle's.
So
That's Jack, yeah.
Well, I misspoke for a minute. Jack Castle isn't the one where the little widget is right now.
Yeah, right.
That originally was Cleveland, then Cleveland got that one over to the right. Jack Castle's still there. Cleveland is still the one on the right.
You see those little cabins in between the longer one and Castle's, those are there.
Next
How could they be? Because the buildings are between there. There's two houses in there.
one. Where?
Between those.
Yeah, but you can't see where Route 9 is here. It's down a ways.
Those cabins are on the left behind those trees.
That is my house. And I don't know who the lady on the lawn is. She predates me. We know this picture was taken because there's power poles and we didn't get electricity until 1910. So this is sometime after 1910. The house looks pretty much the same as it did. This is the way it looks now. Actually, somebody had raked the leaves. That was a good idea. You can see the roads are not paved. And when I was a kid, this road, George Street was paved, Burlington was paved, and maybe part of Lake Avenue was paved, but everything else was dirt. Mud would be more accurate. Okay. This is from the side. The sign Lakeview, I don't know where that went. There was a shed on the back of my house that got replaced by a garage. That elm tree is gone, we had to cut that down. But we still got a couple of those cedar trees. But what you're going to notice here is there isn't any undergrowth. You can look right down on the lake. There's not a bunch of trees on the lake. There's no brush. The trees are small, and that seems to be all the way through the village. When they built the village, you know, like 1868, 69, they must have clear cut everything because most of the trees were small. Side view of my house, it used to be a bunch of great big locust trees. The people who had the house before us cut most of them down. To the right, on the bottom, there's a building that's on the lake. That was an electrical station for the railroad. They either step up the current or step it down or do something if there was a long stretch for the trolleys to run on. And that's the building that did it. What you can't see, maybe on the bottom right, I see a pole, but I don't see a roof. There were two other buildings. They were both, one was a trolley freight station, the other was a trolley passenger station. Because trolleys carried as much freight as they did people. And they ran every hour on the hour from 6 in the morning until 11 at night.
So the trolley went up Route 9?
Pardon?
The trolley went up Route 9?
No. Trolley, the original trolley started in Troy. It crossed the river at Waters, followed the river to Mechanicville, and went on up to Schuylerville, crossed the river again, and there was an amusement park at the end, which the trolley company also owned. In 1898, they put a spur in that came from Mechanicville, around Lake, and it's an area that we always called the tracks, but it's a trolley tracks. If you go down Goldfoot Road from US 9 on the right, there's a driveway now that goes in there. That was the bed for the trolleys. And it went from here to Ballston, from Ballston to Saratoga Springs, and on north. And they got torn up in 1920. Okay. That's just another view of what must have been from. In Lakeview was an inn. It was a small 15-room hotel, served meals. Inn was kind of classy, I don't think they call it. This is a view looking from west to east on Lake Avenue. If you concentrate for a few minutes, you can pick out some houses. It must have been a special day because we got flags up. I don't see any power wires or poles, so it's prior to 1910. We had a little difficulty figuring out houses. And Lance, if I'm remembering right, the one on the right here,
Yeah,
we figured was Lois's.
because of the slate pattern.
The one on the left is the Rigby house, which
Where'd
the
you
Knowles
go?
lived in.
That's the one that is further down.
Yeah, they were looking at the roof pattern, the slates, and it looked like it got changed. This one is where Rigby used to live.
Was it one of Gary?
The one with the porch sticking out under the second flag on the right, Gary Jones, and then it kind of fades in. And the one you can see looks like it has a green roof. Your house.
Yes.
Yeah.
My ex.
With the world's biggest porch. Okay. Again, you'll see dirt roads. This is what it looks like today. You can see there's a lot more green stuff.
There's a house on the right with a balcony. You know what the house that is?
Which one?
In this
That's-
picture on the
that's the
right.
yellow
No, behind that.
Who's talking? I can't.
That's Hayden and Will's house.
Yeah.
You know the name of that? Who owns that house on the right?
Now,
Well,
That's gotta be where
not
Hayden's
there
from.
now.
That's still a man.
this house,
The first one, then, yeah, the first
the one you can just see the porch, we know who owns that.
That's what he
That
does.
goes back, that was Boxcar and,
John Leonard's car.
yeah, John Leonard.
Hayden, that'd be Hayden.
We'll leave Lois's house or the next one up in the air. That looks like they may have trimmed the roof back because the pattern. Okay. And here we are today.
Oh, no.
This is same street, Lake Avenue, looking west, looking toward the railroad station. If you look straight down the street, you can see the railroad station, those of us that can remember it, with a building with a tower on it. Originally, it had two great big wings where they put all sorts of stuff when people got on and off. It looks like that right over there behind Gary. And they also had a ticket station there to come into the village, which they charged for. And they also sold ice cream. I don't know what the connection was, but that happened. Yes?
And that's the sign from that station right there on the wall, right?
Yeah, around right there. That's the sign.
Yeah, that came from the railroad station. You can see power poles here, well, and there. But the last one, so that was taken again after 1910. It looks kind of nice without the cars, doesn't it? Well, they're probably not having been developed yet, that had something to do with it. Okay. Sort of the same. Sullivan's house here. Tuck's is kind of backed in. Gary's house you can see. Linda's on the corner. Rigby's is the next one down, and it's still got the wings on the station all the way down there.
Big one right here.
Yeah.
It almost looks brick.
And again, here, I don't think I see any power poles, but there is a kerosene lamp right in the foreground. Okay. Looking the same way.
Yeah.
Same street, farther down, Gary Jones's house on the left. There used to be Rigney's on the right, and you'll notice the porch is different. The porch is rather intricate, the railings are open. Today, it's a solid porch and it's round. It's one of the few, if not the only house in the village that's got round things on it. And this is, there's a light pole there, so it's after 1910, and it's got a fire plug in front of it too, the old one. Again, dirt streets. It takes you a minute to figure out where we are here, but on the right, there's some pieces that look like a fence. It is a fence. It's around the fountain that's in front of the library. Over here on the far left is the library. Next to it, at this time, I'm guessing that's still association offices in the office for the camp meeting. Building's still the same.
Do that again?
I think. Question? Third question?
That don't look right.
Go back
That
one,
looks
please.
like the house that's still there.
Oh, right here, this one.
The library's on the right.
Hey, Pat,
No.
Yeah.
I think these are your steps.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Is that the
across the
house?
We'll just take out the trees and put the streets in.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Here's some folks looking at the fountain again. Not much has changed. The configuration of the fountain has changed. The naked lady wasn't there yet, and that mound wasn't built in the center. And they must have still had problems keeping kids and dogs out of it because there's a pretty high fence around. Okay. This is a shot in front of the auditorium, just sitting around enjoying the afternoon, I would guess. This is an earlier shot of the auditorium. You'll notice the floor is still flat. They got pews, and it's open. And if you could bring a camera around this way, the whole back end, where the organ is right now, that was open. Right? There was nothing there. There was a preacher's booth that stood outside. And it looks like it had to be really wet. I only found this out fairly recently when we had a tree guy in to look at some trees on WRLISS on the library lawn. He said, whenever you see trees with roots like that, it's because there's a whole bunch of water in the ground and it was probably a swamp once. And that's what that looks like. This one looks good. And it looks like you can see the lake off in the back. You can. That's a blue fence. But I like it. This is a side shot I had never seen before, looking at the west side of the auditorium. It looks like a park bench. And you can see between the posts on the auditorium, there are drop cloths. I think they put those down when it rained. And if you look far right, you don't see any tower. So this is prior. The auditorium was built 1884. The tower was built in 1888. And the back end and the front end. The arcade. Trying to get a picture in your mind of where the arcade existed. That took me years. This is First Street today. Village Hall, one of the houses that was saved. And if you look straight through here, you could look down to the train station. Jeff Mack's house would be on the left, all the way down. It was the width, or the length rather, of the current Village Hall, like from the front to back here. That's how long it was. And there were two buildings, the north and the south. They were only joined on either end with these arches. And that was a business district in the village. It had a tower, and that's about the only picture I've ever seen of the tower. And in there were a variety of things. There were, at different times, a furniture store, barber, a bathhouse, bookstore, furniture store, and always a drugstore. And that's a white truck that's parked on the end.
What still survives?
Pardon?
What still survives from the arcade?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Library lawn, and the empty spot in front of the village hall. That was built on. It all burned in 1921, and some argument there were about 13 houses, the arcade, and when all was said and done, a guy that lived on the end of what is now Rowe Park, Mr. Rowe, bought the whole thing, donated Rowe Park to the village, providing we call it Rowe Park, and gave library lawn to the library for future use. But the arcade never got rebuilt, but they did obviously rebuild the village hall.
Next picture.
Yeah. That's actually looking west, and this one is looking east.
You're looking
That's
looking west from here.
This is looking east.
I'm standing,
Oh, it is looking west?
I'm standing by the fountain now, looking this way.
In the upper left-hand
Oh,
corner
I
of that
see, because of
picture
to the
is a
auditorium
little
goes over there.
roof, and that's from the corner of the superintendent's cottage. And the house that you see there is no longer there.
That one is gone, the one on the right is still there, the one behind it is not. Not sure about the one almost touching the arcade.
Take a look at the signs on the tree. The orient is shown to the left.
Yeah,
South.
okay.
Now, next picture.
It's looking east.
Next.
No,
That's looking west.
No, I thought the same thing. You're from the west, that's right,
That's looking west.
I agree, yeah.
The white panel is the post office truck that had to be sitting there when I took the picture.
Okay, this is a map that shows the area that was destroyed in 1921. The area this way, where it says 30, is Rowe Park. As it goes to 24 and 25, that's where the village hall now is, where the arcade was in 25 is the library lawn. That's the area that got gone. You can see over here, that's the library. The back of the library did get burned. They had it on a little after that. They lost a piano, saved the books.
Bill, show where the arcade was again on that map.
Right here.
Right there.
There's the art.
And First Street goes right down the middle of it.
So the photo was taken from right here.
Yes.
Right.
So if we go back,
Yeah.
standing here, you can see this house, you can see this house, and you can see that house and that house.
Got it? It's hard.
And there's a house missing in between, right these two.
So this building was built on the old foundation.
Pretty much.
Next.
Plus houses.
And this shows what happened after they rebuilt the village hall, made Grove Park and library lawn. And that stayed pretty constant. This is looking from, you're looking east. Jeff Mack's house on the right, the house on the left went in the fire. You can see a little bit of a building beyond that. That was probably the lamp house, because you can see we still have kerosene lamps. There's one on the left, and I know they were kept in front of the village hall. If you look down, you've got the western end of the arcade. You look through the arcade, and that little tiny building is a ticket booth for the auditorium. Another view of the park. You're standing where the station used to be. That doesn't help much. You're standing on, out in front, behind the thing that says "Welcome to the Village." It's got some maps and things in it, and some flowers. If you're standing there, looking toward the village hall, that's what you would see. There were still some buildings. This is Ellis Rowe's house over on the far lower right, Jeff Mack's, both still there, one's in the middle, gone. Mr. Rowe not only donated the park, he maintained it until he got really mad and then he quit. That's the station that you see in the background on the left-hand side. Still has the wings on it. Row house over on the far right. Flower gardens in the middle. You flip that way. If you look over there, that's Leah's. By the stop sign, this is the row house again on your right. And if you flip back to the last one, couldn't see that because the station and the wings were away. But same shot. Another view of the village hall. This is a while after the fire because it's grown up and they've replanted it.
When was this building?
When was the municipal building built? When was the building built?
About 1923. Question was more when the municipal building built, like 1923. Again, the row house, you'll notice there's one next to it. Mr. Rowan, the gentleman in the house next to him, did not get along, and they finally got in a really bad fight, and Roe bought his house and tore it down. You really gotta not like somebody, buy his house and tear it down. That is the gem. Levings Avenue runs north-south, parallel to Prospect. There's a little wood and tin house. The one on the corner doesn't look anything like it does now. Currently, nobody lives there. They've just cleaned up the lawn. Where's Sheldon? That house on the corner, they haven't done anything with it yet? Next to yours?
Yeah, and,
But it doesn't look anything like this one. I think that was cut down and porch is taken off.
Roof lights are really different.
At one time, this was taken out. The village, I was mayor at the time, we acquired it, and I don't know where it went. But it came apart in sections and thought it'd be a good thing to keep. And it kind of went away. Okay. Okay, take a look at these. Knowing what you know about the topography in Round Lake, where are these steps?
Prospect Hill.
Right out.
The best guess, but it's wrong, where there's steps that still exist going up to Mount Morris from the south, on the driveway, but that is not them. It looks like that. We pointed at this thing for a long time, and where that little doo-whacker is up there, we think that is the museum. So this was like an old way to get up to the museum from down by the lake. What this building is hiding behind the tree here, it's kind of jacked up on one side. I don't know what it is, but I guess it's a privy. They have those scattered around. Those are the steps that walk them out
They're not the same split.
This is a view from Prospect Avenue, looking at the lake, and on the mid-right are the tennis courts. They're not paved. Now they're paved. It is a gazebo down on the lake that is no longer there. That went from there up to the parking lot, where the church parking lot, and then it went poof someplace. Okay. And I think that's a stylish way to play tennis. You can, if you're good enough, you can kind of date this. If you look over here, there's a couple of cars. And that's far enough back so the spares were anchored on the side of the car. And there's a carriage coming right about in the middle of the photograph on the right.
Oh my gosh.
And Eva's gates are still there, the Cloet property. And there are some power poles, so it's after 1910. That's today. Okay. Prospect Avenue. This is looking south on Prospect. And I'm trying to identify a house. I think the one on the right.
Yeah. I think that's
Yeah, Clink, this is where Pat and Rich live now. Not 100%, but it looks like it. If you look all the way down, I think you're looking at, Joe, your house. And the two houses on the left are still there. The Lance, I think one of them isn't yours.
That's hilarious.
That's Ruggles, and the next one has got the porch
That's the
gone.
little one. The yellow one.
Yeah. The next one. That's the house that's below the hill, below School Hill. It was built by Dean Alexander, and I don't know whether his first name was Dean, but I know he was Dean of Albany Law at one time, so I guess it's a title. He built that place, and that's still there. It had a garage added to it. You got undergrowth now.
That's kids and stuff. Is that Ames?
Looks a lot like Clovis when you look at it quickly, or even.
It's on Ames.
This is right.
Yeah, that's right.
Right next to it.
Keep going. Quarter of eight, okay. There should be some more postcards on here.
I can have my stick. This whole one.
Okay, these are from a collection of postcards. Some of them are real, this one I think is. And I think the other one is too. We don't have these in any order. The George West, the lake on the bottom left with the old boathouse. Before the new boathouse was built, it was torn down now. Most of these I think you have seen before. The Station with the Wings, the Wentworth.
There's Aaron's house.
Yeah, Aaron Morris's house and the school. Most of these are, I think, are in black and white. That shirt, up in the corner where it says Little Lake, I thought that was a phony for a long time. It's not. That's a real photo. There was a church in at the top of Little Round Lake in Maltaville. It was a Presbyterian church. It got torn down. The town of Malta historian called me on that this week, and I said, "Yeah, I do have an answer." Okay. This is a porch of the old boathouse. It was really a boathouse. It wasn't anything else there. The one behind the little guy standing there belonged to the Cluett estate. They had their own small boathouse on the lake. You'll notice how overgrown the swamp is. Lake a lot lower. That's the casino. Not the gambling kind.
Look at that boat, Jim.
Okay. Better view.
Bill, remember I mentioned the bandstand?
Yes.
In the previous slide, they
It
called
said
that the
bandstand.
bandstand.
I saw that. Did we put bandstand on there, or?
No, it's on the poster.
Okay. You gotta believe them.
So, to give you a little background, I scanned over 200 postcards in the past 2 weeks in order to put
No,
together
the one with the spring.
the original show. So these are ones that I scanned and be for future use.
Go the other way. Yeah, this Trail to the Spring. I do not know of any spring in the village. I don't know whether this is a real Round Lake postcard or there are some that are phony.
There's another Round Lake.
Flo, did you ever hear of a spring?
Yeah.
Hey, Flo, did you ever hear of a spring in the village? I did.
Bill, there's another Round Lake in the Adirondacks.
Yeah,
Some of the cars are from there.
I know there's one on Long Island and there's one out in Ohio someplace.
Ohio.
That's a big one.
There's one in the Adirondacks.
Okay, we're running this in repeats. I think we'll call it.
Yeah.
Thank you all.